As runners, we all challenge ourselves in ways we never thought possible, pushing the boundaries of what we're capable of to smash through targets and set ourselves new, bigger and better ones.
This awesome hobby that we share gives us one thing in common, and it brings us together as a community. Whether you're working towards completing your first parkrun or you're a veteran of the sport who's run 100 ultra marathons, we all know the feeling of reaching that maxed out effort and our own red line.
Welcome to our podcast, where your hosts Brett Elsmore and Andy Maguire discuss the struggles, the successes and everything in between on our running journeys, as we all work towards the next time we're running the red line. Hello and welcome to episode 47 of Running the Red Line. I am your host Brett, and I am here as always with my co-host Andy, who is getting ready for tomorrow morning, where we will see a sub 20.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. By the way, sorry, I didn't even realise we were live then. I was literally not even ready for that. Sorry, I've got my attention down to my left ear because I've got Daisy in with me. So sorry if I start going like this. But she's probably just run off with the blooming.
Yeah,
she's got the computer cable in her mouth. Yeah,
so she can't pull the decorations down this time.
Yeah, basically, she's looking at me.
Although it was possibly not Daisy that did it, was it?
Well, yeah, we think we've done a bit of investigation on the wreath that fell off and the oil burn that splashed all across the lounge, and it turns out we think it could have been Laura that balanced something on top of it, and it just fell within 5 minutes of her leaving. And of course, we went into a barking dog and just assumed it was Daisy. So we don't actually think it could have been her. It still might have been.
Yeah.
But yeah, so maybe I do feel bad about giving her a rollicking now. But so far so calm. So I'll take that. But yes, tomorrow, mate, I'm mega excited for it. It's been a long time. I'm talking like I've already got it in the bag, but it's been a long time coming. I've been chasing a sub 20 now I remember literally the week before Manchester, which was April 2023. So well over 18 months ago, I went down to Parkrun. And you know how we always say tapered legs are dangerous? I went off with Kieran Deegan, which is my first mistake because he's like a 17-minute 5K. And I just had a really good run that day. And then that day I ran a PB. I ran 2037, and I couldn't break that for literally, it was about 18 months, and I didn't break it until we went to Bushy Park, and that's when I did my 2004. So for the best part of 2 years, I've been chasing this sub 20, and but that day, the week before Manchester, on that run, I just set out to do a progressive, Problem is when you go out fast, you've got nowhere to progress to. You can only regress.
Yeah.
But I managed to hold on, and I actually did quite a good run that day. But marathon fitness does that to you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And especially during a taper as well. You think so. I mean, maybe in hindsight, I don't know if I'd do that again. But Kieran said to me that day, he said, "Getting a PB that late into a marathon training block is just such a good confidence booster." I mean, it happened to me at Redditch with you, and it was massive for my confidence. So I wouldn't discourage it, but I wouldn't actively encourage it because it might not be the most sensible thing to do the week before a marathon. But yeah, I've got fond memories of that day. So I remember running, look at my watch, and you're sort of going, you just don't believe that you've run that well. It was a bit like that. And but yeah, so I beat it at Bushy Park when we went down in August last day. I think it was about August the 31st or something like that. So that was when was August? That was a good 4 months ago, wasn't it?
Oh, yes.
So it's been sort of 16 weeks, basically. 12 weeks, 16 weeks, I guess, since I've had a good go. Daisy's looking at me and chewing something. What are you eating? I'm just gonna. Ignorance is bliss. I'm just gonna not. I'm not gonna get involved.
Yeah.
What have you got in your mouth? You absolute. Come up here. You can come on the podcast. Daisy, do you think? Let's see. Do you reckon I'll get a sub 20 tomorrow? Be cute. There you go. Can you sniff into the mic? So Daisy's going to be down at Parkrun tomorrow with Laura.
Excellent.
So yeah, Daisy's going to come down. So if you are down at Arrow Valley, give us a wave and say hello. But yeah, mega excited. And yeah, I think the time is now.
Yeah, I think as well we might have a Kipchoge V formation in front of you as well.
I can't wait for that.
People.
Yeah, I've been in touch with a couple of people and seeing if they want to come down. Like I've asked Lee Neal if he wants to come down. Even he said if he can, he will.
Nice.
We've obviously got. Well, I didn't even know this was happening. After Telford, you started recruiting people
Yeah.
to guilt trip me into definitely going for it.
Yeah, so we've got Ryan and Harry coming down.
Yeah. So that's going to be awesome. I think there's talk of Sam Bauer and Matt joining in as well, because I think Matt wants to go for the sub 20 as well.
Yeah.
Sam's run 2 or 3 or 4 sub 20s this year, so he'll probably be good. And but yeah, so I think if there's a good group of us, hopefully we've got more reason to smash it.
Nice. Ace.
So yeah, excited.
I am as well. So what do you reckon is the game plan? What pace do you want us to set it off at?
I'm not interested. Lately, I've been really tidy with my running when it comes to racing. So what I mean by that, I've been clean and tidy. I've been crossing my T's and dotting my I's. I've been trying to negative split. I've been trying to pace correctly. But when it comes to tomorrow, I don't care if we do a 5-minute mile in the first mile and I have to walk the rest. As long as I get a sub 20, I don't care. I literally could not care less. I'm not bothered. If I feel it's going to feel horrible, whether I negative split it or whatever happens. So it doesn't really matter. I think it would be sensible to probably go off a bit quicker and get away from the foot traffic at the start.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, this is perfect world scenario. I'd love something closer to 1940, I think. So I can easily dip under that sub 20, but I'll take 9:59.9 all day long.
Yeah. Well, I was practicing pace last night at training.
Oh yeah.
I shouldn't have been running that fast at all because my hamstrings are still feeling it after Sunday. Man, they were in bits the day after, and the last few days they've not felt great. But I was practicing pace, and for a 1928. So if we go for, say, okay, let's say 1931. So we're going for a 1931. So 30 seconds off is 6:17 a mile. So that I reckon that's doable.
Well, when I think back to when we ran Kingfisher, when you took it out and you paced me,
yes,
and I remember just getting around that. Well, not even the first 5K. I remember getting around the first couple of K and knowing that we'd gone out hot, but almost feeling comfortably uncomfortable, like thinking, I'm bizarrely relaxed here. What's going on? So I hope that I feel like that, because I know the last 2K, the last mile, I'm going to be hurting. But what I don't want is to be in a mess from the get-go.
No.
I don't want to... I don't know if you ever can find this. Maybe you found this on Saturday. But one of the worst things I hate about racing, especially 10Ks and faster, is feel like I'm snatching at breaths, especially early on. And I'm not a nasal breather, because listen to my voice. I'm the most nasal bloke you've ever heard in your life. I'm convinced I've got adenoid problems. I'm convinced I've got so anyway, whenever I take, look at this. Can you see my nostril going in like that? Yeah. I've only ever got one available nostril. That's what it feels like. So I'm not a good nasal breather.
I'm pretty sure that's how your nose works, though. You only have one working at any particular time.
Really?
Yeah, like you got a dominant nostril when it switches over constantly.
I'm not a smoker, obviously, probably not a good thing if I was, but I do like seeing it sometimes when people blow smoke out their nose and it equally comes out of their both nostrils. I think that's quite a fine art, to be fair. So kudos to anyone that can do that. Maybe we'll have a cigar
Yeah.
if we finish the 5K tomorrow. We'll get on the Hamlets tomorrow. But no, I'm not a good nasal breather. Do you ever consciously nasal breathe?
When I'm like feeling it during a race, I do try and breathe in through my nostrils and take some big deep breaths just to try and slow my heart rate down and get me recovering faster. But this is a very good point, actually, because I was listening again to Dan Nash's podcast. What's it? The something of endurance physiology of endurance running podcast.
Yeah.
And they had loads of questions come in from loads of people about nasal strips because they've noticed at loads of races recently, loads of people have been wearing the nasal strips. And basically they they basically debunked the whole idea of nasal strips helping you during races.
Well, that's interesting because I know podcasts are probably the number one source for misinformation in 2024. But I heard on a podcast recently, I can't remember who said it, but you can get up to 20% more oxygen. Please don't use this as a soundbite and make us go viral for spreading fake news. But no, actually do it. We need the engagement.
Yeah.
Apparently I read or heard that you can get up to 20% more oxygen to around your body if you nasal breathe during a race.
Oh, well.
So whether that's absolute nonsense, I don't know.
On their podcast, they were chatting, Dan and Owain, and they were saying that there's been tests done where so basically when you are at rest, so when you're not doing anything, just general day to day, you breathe mainly through your nose, and that helps. What did he say? Not moisturize, but keep
Lubricate.
moisture, going down into your lungs because your lungs are wet, so they need that moisture, and like through your nose that helps. But when you run, you mainly breathe through your mouth. So people think that by putting the nasal strips on, it opens up the airways and you can breathe through your nose more. But apparently tests have been done where they checked runners and how much oxygen they were taking on when they were breathing through their mouth, when they were breathing just through their nose, and when they were breathing through both. And apparently through the mouth and through both had exactly the same results.
So when you're breathing like we are right now, and when you're running, are you taking in oxygen through two sources? If you know what I mean. Can you only use your nasal or your, through your mouth? You can't use both, or you can use both. Is that what you're saying?
You can use both, but when you're running, it doesn't help to have more through your nose. It doesn't change the amount that you're getting in, that you're breathing in through your mouth.
Right. So it doesn't. Do you know if it hinders or does it just not improve it?
I think they said if you breathe through your nose, it was adjust your nose. It was less, I think they said, and then through both and through just your mouth was exactly the same. So
I don't know about
so it didn't hinder you.
No.
But they said basically having the nasal strips on is like a placebo. But they said if you think that you run faster with a nasal strip, then wear the nasal strip, because a placebo effect is real. And if you're more confident in your running, then you'll run better. But it's not actually giving you any more oxygen by wearing a nasal strip.
Yeah. Okay. I also think it's one of those things where, you know, like if someone told you to change your running form because it'd make you run a 30-second faster 5K, it's like, I feel like you'd do it and you'd be like, I've forgotten how to breathe. Like, this doesn't feel right. It's so weird, isn't it, to change something massive about something you do on autopilot.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, yes, I think it's a bit like I remember once I used to work, my first job I ever had, I used to work at a golf club. And remember getting talking to the golf pro, and it was quiet one day, and he said, "I'll give you a free lesson if you like." And he basically, because I thought I was pretty good back in the day, and I wasn't. It turns out I wasn't that good. I could play off about a 18 handicap, so I was okay. I could knock it all right, and then he said, "You're doing it all wrong. You need to do this." So I tried doing it as you're supposed to do it, and it felt like I might as well have been playing left-handed. Like I couldn't do it. So I just can straight away. I mean, this is terrible because I'm telling a professional, or I'm basically ignoring a professional's advice. And I fell straight away because I started trying to actively hit the ball, and I was playing worse. And then I just thought, I ain't doing this. I'm rubbish now. It just feels weird and I can't hit the ball properly. So then I just went back into my old habits and I started playing again, you know, as I always would. But I guess when you start doing that, when you go into your old habits, why has Daisy disappeared? Oh, she's behind me. What are you doing there? I looked on her bed and she wasn't there. God, look at our animals. They're giving the run around, aren't they? And yeah, so I know that's terrible advice to ignore a professional. But my point is that he completely tried to change my form. And it just felt so unnatural to the point where I just couldn't do the thing anymore. So
yeah,
imagine telling some of those runners that who's the arm swingy guy from
Jack Gray.
Jack Gray. Yeah, imagine telling him, "Oh, you're expelling a little bit too much energy with your arm swings."
Yeah, your form doesn't look very good.
Yeah, and we're like, "Well, hang on, mate. I've just come 12th at the Telford 10K or whatever he came." So it's like,
I think he came 7th.
Did he? Fair enough.
I think he did. Yeah.
So, Daisy, she's trying to chew me chair. Stop it, please.
Let me have
if this continues, I might have to take a tactical pause and go and put Daisy.
He came 9th. Ninth, but he ran 29:09.
Yeah, it's mad. I mean, if you look in our video, we did another bonus video, which you may have already seen. If you look on our YouTube video, you'll probably know the guy we're talking about, because he's up the front and his arm swing looks so hyperextended, doesn't it?
Yeah.
With his arms, his hands are like blades.
Yeah.
And he's cutting through. But it's like his arms are ahead of his body, aren't they? They almost don't pull back, or they do, or they sort of hyperextend, don't they? And it's like, it's one of those things. It's like, imagine telling him he's not doing it right. He'd be like, "No, you're all right, mate. I'll carry on doing what I'm doing if you don't mind."
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, sometimes if doing it the right way might not work for you, sometimes old habits die hard, and you just end up like having to do it the way you've always done it. Because
but that is the thing. What is the right way? Is there such a thing as the right way? Yeah. I don't think there is. Everybody's physiology is very different. So
yeah,
we're all going to run slightly different, aren't we? So, but yeah, with that thing, they basically said that those nasal strips don't actually give you any benefit at all.
That's interesting.
Apart from a placebo effect.
Yeah. See, a part of me wonders if they're in the same category as arm sleeves, alpha flies. All they do is making you.
Alpha flies actually give you.
Yeah. Fair enough. Well, I can vouch for that. But I wonder if they're just like a thing that make you feel faster. I don't know. But for me, for example, like I've said, like with my nose, because I sleep in them, because Laura's basically made me sleep in them because I'm such a snorer. It's genuinely affecting her quality of life, and not far away from divorce at one point. So just getting getting a pack of 100 nasal strips for £4 saved us from getting divorced. So quite a good compromise. And and I wear them to go to sleep.
Yeah,
and
but
they actually do open. They do actually feel quite pleasant.
But that's the thing, when you're at rest, so when you're not exercising, your main breathing is through your nose. But when you're running, your main breathing is through your mouth. So that's the thing. So when you're sleeping, you need your nose open because that's where you're breathing from.
Yeah.
So that's understandable. So that's whilst you're sleeping, probably they do work.
Yeah, I should start wearing them for these You wouldn't recognise my voice if I start wearing them for the podcast. I'd sound like Brian Blessed. I'd have a real full-bodied voice. I sound like Joe Pasquale, don't I? With my little voice. So quite partridge-esque, isn't it? My voice. So
I was just looking though. So in terms that you will understand, 1930 for tomorrow is 3:54 a K.
Okay. I mean, terrified, but okay. Well, we hopefully we'll get a chance to talk about this in a bit, because we've got a lot on our agenda, by the way, because this is our Christmas special. We didn't mention. During the week, I did a mile time trial, which hopefully we'll get to.
Yeah.
But I had a taste of running at that pace and a bit faster this week, only for a mile. But it was, it was eventful. So I listened. I tried to be a good student and listen to what you told me to do. But we'll get to that when we get to it. But yeah. So to respond to that, 3:54 a K. Yes, it's fast, but you can either moan about it and worry about it, or you can just get on with it and do it, can't you?
Exactly.
And that's exactly what I've got to do. And I know it's going to be hard, as you would find if someone told you tomorrow, oh, by the way, we're going to go for a 17-minute 5K, you're going to be like, okay, I know what to do. I've just got to get on with it. It's just a case of that, isn't it? It's like, I know I'm going to have to work beyond my limits for that last 5 to 10 minutes. And I'm going to have to really dig quite deep, I think. But whatever happens tomorrow. Not the end of the world if it doesn't go well, but I actually am feeling fairly positive and confident about it.
Yeah. Tomorrow you will be running the red line.
I feel like I'm constantly on the blooming red line. I feel like I haven't come off it since August. So I'm actually looking forward to Christmas to get off the red line. So yeah. But no, I'm genuinely excited, and probably a bit late now. But anyone, well, yeah, you won't hear this by the time you will have heard this, we will have done it. But we're going to go down to Arrow Valley, which is Brett's local, and Parkrun, that is. And I've done a handful of Arrow Valleys, probably about 10 or 15 now, and it's a fast course, isn't it? There's a couple of little rises in there. The musical notes, I'm not, you know what I mean by that. I'm going to be hating my life by the time I see those, because there's a little play park at like 97% of the way through the course, and you'd actually do the course. It's 2 laps. On the first lap, you don't think it's that bad because it's right at the start. But the second time you have to do this little incline with musical painted notes on it, feels like Everest.
You do that climb 3 times.
Of course, yeah, because you go off.
Even though it's 2 laps. It slightly overlaps on that first lap. So you do that climb 3 times.
Of course. Yeah. And that was the first time I remember, actually. Do you remember pacing me back in the day? Around about this time back in the olden days. Do you remember pacing me to like a 22.5-minute 5K? Because at the time I couldn't move past that. And we got our sub 22. Of course we did, because Brett never fails. And I remember you giving me some advice that day. and it's sort of stuck with me, which is dealing with not hills, but little inclines during a race. And that's just get up them and go hard up them, move
Mhm.
faster up them. Because then when you get to the top of that hill, you can almost sit back to the pace you were at, but it will feel almost like a recovery almost.
Mhm.
You can almost get up that hill as fast as you can. And then you can feel like you can recover, because you can lose seconds there, can't you? You can
Yeah,
you
definitely.
can lose valuable seconds up hills if you're too conservative and cautious. And over the period of a 5K, you haven't really got the luxury of time, have
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, no, you haven't got time to be cautious on a 5K. You've just
Yeah.
got to go for it.
So yeah, from your point of view, then having a bit of pacing practicing. Firstly, are you in a position to do this? I know you're going to say yes. You're not
Of
injured
course.
or anything, are you? You're not feeling like,
No, I'm not injured. I've just got mega tight hamstrings.
oh God.
But that's just from the effort I put in on a Sunday, and then it's my own fault because of what I did after Telford 10K.
What did you do after Telford 10K?
Well, when you dropped me off at home, I then went out
Yeah.
for another 10K.
Take it for this round two.
But I thought, I'll tell you what, I'll just cover my watch and I'll just run at what feels comfortable. Just so I'm not like running too fast.
Yeah.
And I ran too fast. But there we go.
Right. Is that
Yep.
is that because sometimes when you have run fast and your body has been used to running that quick pace for in your case 40 or 30 odd minutes, do you think that your easy pace is faster because your body is used to running a bit faster? Because I find that, for example, when we did Bushy, having run the fastest I've ever run in my life and doing the biggest intense effort of my life, I went to do a cool down and me and Kieran did it, and we were both looking at our watch and we were running like 5:15. Okay, we were running like nearly 8-minute miles, and like we're running way too fast here, but it feels okay.
Yeah.
It's almost weird, isn't it? After a fast effort, that an easier effort still is quite quick, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So it's
it
a weird feeling.
probably. But yeah, if I find it, so on Sunday, so I got home and I ran 6.26 miles, so another just over 10K,
Yeah.
and I did an average of 7:33 a mile.
What on
And
your recovery? Yeah.
yeah, and at one point I was yes, it was downhill, but I hit 6:56 for
But
the fifth mile.
I guess, oh God, but I guess in the moment you were feeling fine. You were
Yeah,
feeling,
yeah.
you know,
I was feeling really good. Yeah, but yeah, it's one of those. So it's my own fault that they're tight, but it shows that I put the effort in. So that's a good thing at the same time.
yeah. But well, on that subject, shall we move on to last Sunday?
Yes.
Because
Yeah, why not?
last Sunday we went over to Telford to do the world famous 10K Telford 10K, which is the fastest, isn't it, in the UK?
Yes.
So
Yeah, it's go on.
I was going to say, like, all the creme de la creme really are there. The elites are there.
Yeah.
People are just people sub elites. It's really a big sub elite race, isn't it?
Yeah. There are
Mainly,
basically if you want to run a fast 10K, that's where you go. So there are lots of people that are going there to run as fast as they can.
yeah,
And I think it's the fact that the field is such good quality that makes it so fast. I'm not sure that the course itself would be that fast if it wasn't for the runners that were there,
yeah,
if you get what
yeah.
I mean, because
Mm.
it's not flat. It's
No,
definitely not flat.
it did
Um,
seem quite undulating when I had a little walk around the park. Yeah,
Yeah. So the first K, yes, it's downhill. So you get a really good, fast first kilometre. But then it goes up a rise, which on the second lap feels like a hill.
Yeah.
And then it goes through a gravelly, muddy patch.
Yeah.
And then it goes down a steep, short downhill, and then it goes
Mm.
onto the out and back bit where you run down to the cone. And down to the cone, it's ever so slightly, you don't really notice it, but it's ever so slightly downhill going down to the cone. And you turn around the cone, or the guy that stood on the cone.
Oh, I
And
saw that guy. Yeah.
yeah,
You sort of slide around him.
yeah. So
You sort of give him a lap dance as you walk back. As you
do you want me to lap dance for you?
I was watching people sort of slide around him like that.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny.
So you go around the guy, and then all the way back to the finish is slightly uphill. So it's a slight raise all the way up to the finish. So it's not a flat course at all. But because people are all going all out, it sort of boosts you as well, and you just go for it.
I wonder why it's such a fast course. Do you think it's because of the start? Like that? Do you think you gain seconds on that fast first 500 meters or whatever it is?
Yes, and
Because
yes,
that was hard. That was a hard downhill, wasn't it?
it was. Yeah, the start being downhill is super fast.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think you do gain a little bit in that first kilometre, but it's just the fact that the pack is so strong, and you've got no other option other than to run the pace that the people around you are running.
Yeah.
Basically, that start was crazy. We started and it was like, you either run this pace or you're going to end up on the floor. So there was no choice. It was just go. So
Dude,
yeah, that first.
Sorry to interrupt. I need to let Daisy out. She's like pouring at the door, and she's going to start like. I've just written down the start was crazy. We'll pick up from the start was crazy back in a sec.
Yeah.
I'm back in the room. I'm just watching Daisy on the pet cam, and she might be making an appearance in here in a second. But let's continue with the start for the Telford 10K was crazy.
Yes. So yeah, it's mental. So yeah, we set off, and it was just a case of you've got to go at that pace. So everybody around you is going for it. If you don't go at that pace, you're either going to be tripped up, or you're going to be on the floor, or people are going to be pushing you in the back. So you've got no choice other than to run the pace that everyone around you is running. So I run that first mile way quicker than I expected to. But that was, as you say, it was probably a good thing. We probably did pick up a bit because of that, of time, and then it allowed a bit of a tail off towards the end.
Do you get the feeling that a lot of people will have had a fast first mile or first kilometre because of that start?
Yeah, pretty much.
Especially in wave one.
Yeah, I reckon everybody's first mile was probably their fastest mile.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. Oh yeah, we should mention that as well. Yeah, but so basically my place came up because TQ from Q on the Run got in touch with both of us and said he had a possible entry to Telford if we wanted it. You were like, no, I'm good, thank you.
In wave one, imagine me in wave one.
And then I thought about it for a bit and was like, go on then. I was going to take December nice and easy, not do any races, just get ready to start training again in the new year. But I was like, oh, it's an offer I can't refuse. I'm just going to go for it. So basically, Adam, TQ's brother, hadn't quite recovered from his knee surgery enough to go and do Telford. So he gave up his entry. So massive thank you to Adam for that. But so I was in wave one, which was a bit daunting. And when I stood on that start line, the only thing that was going through my head was, don't be last. Don't be last.
Yeah.
Because wave one, in the entry, it says wave one will be for people under 30 minutes up to 40 minutes. But usually everyone is under 37 minutes. So to get into wave one, you need to run sub 37.
So passive aggressive, isn't it? The way they word that.
Yeah.
Well, usually everyone's under 37 minutes. So it's literally on their website. So, if you're over 37, you're a complete and utter disgrace.
Yeah. And do not even think about entering wave one. So, so I was in wave one. So
for you.
So all I was thinking on that start line was, please don't be last. Don't be last. So, we set off, and it was quick out of the blocks, really, really quick. But I went through that first mile in 5:28. I think I did the first mile. And then I just tried to settle in to 10K pace. And I managed that for the next couple of miles. So I settled into what should have been 10K pace from the start. And I went through halfway. So we did the cone. Wow, the guy. And I tell you what, on the first lap, because the path was so narrow to go around the cone, there was a patch of about, I reckon, about 1.5 feet, maybe 2 foot. That was pavement right next to the cone. And then after that was mud. And I didn't notice that on the first time. So the guy did say, watch the mud as you come round us. And I went round, and obviously trying to go as fast as you can round a cone, it's pretty much a dead stop, and then you've got to get going again. So that's another thing that makes me, that's what's confusing, as why the course is so fast. There's a dead stop around a cone back on yourself. It's really weird. Anyway, so I went round the cone and went slightly wide, and I must have looked like something from a cartoon, like Tom and Jerry or something, because I swear I did 3 or 4 steps on the spot, just sliding before I got traction to go off again.
Really?
So basically went back up to the finish, and we went through the 5K split, and obviously the clock was off the gun, not off like your chip. And I went through on the clock at 17:44, 17:45. But my actual split for halfway was 17:30. And that's the fastest 5K I've run this year.
Yeah.
So
mega.
So I went through halfway of a 10K in the fastest I've run a 5K this year, which was a bit like, hang on a minute, I may have gone off a bit too quick here.
But I don't think you realised that until after, did you? But
no.
you obviously knew. You obviously knew on the day that it was quick.
Yeah.
But you didn't realise it was a season's best during a 10K.
Exactly. But then, so 4th mile hit, and we hit that slope again, which properly felt like a hill on the second lap. That just zapped me. We went through the gravelly, muddy bit, and then that 4th mile slowed up a bit, and then that 5th mile, I said to you on the day, didn't I? I haven't run a mile in a race that felt as hard as that 5th mile. It was just horrendous. I was properly feeling it, and I slowed down. I slowed down to a 6-minute mile for that one. But when I hit the 5-mile marker, I just rallied myself and said, "Come on, Brett, what are you doing? We've only got a mile left, so kick on. Let's get back up to pace." And I managed to get back up to pace for that 6th mile. And then when I hit 6 mile and knew there was only 0.2 of a mile to go, it was like, come on, let's go for it now. Let's get to that finish line. And I'm glad I did that, because when I crossed the line, I thought I had, but when we got the official results, it was confirmed. but I managed to PB my 10K time at Telford by a total of 3 seconds. But every second counts, especially in the shorter races. But yeah, so I ran 35:41, and very
that's
pleased.
insane. That's really, really, really good.
Yeah.
Considering that it wasn't even on your radar until the
No.
week before.
Yeah, I'd been running easy because I'd had my calf injury, so I hadn't really been training. I'd been doing cycling in the gym and cross training mostly, and a little bit of running here and there. So yeah, I am extremely happy with a PB off not much training.
Yeah, I bet that felt like quite an unexpected but nice early Christmas present, because I don't know what the difference is between being in 5K shape or 10K shape or just in shape in general, but I could tell, I knew, because you've basically been in marathon training since Manchester, haven't you? You've basically still been getting the volume in. You've still been doing the sessions, so the training has been there. You've maybe just not had a goal to have a good crack at, a goal race. So I knew that you were gonna do really well, but I could see. I don't think I've ever seen two things I've never seen from you. First of all, nerves. I don't think I've ever seen you nervous before. Which I could tell you were slightly nervous. I think it probably when you saw Phil Sessamon running past you when you were doing your B&R vest, putting your bib on, and you're like, I've just seen Phil Sessamon. There's Jack Gray doing his warm up in the car park, and so that must have been surreal. And secondly, I've never seen you at a finish line either.
Mm-hmm.
So that was amazing to see you with an empty tank hanging over the railings, looking like a, someone had 48 pints and they'd had one too many. You looked like you'd got nothing left, like that proper Ian Beale moment.
nothing left.
And it was that was surreal as well to see you having completely emptied the tank. But to be fair, you look good at halfway when I saw you, because the good thing is obviously about the course for a spectator's point of view, we get to see you guys come round twice, and you look good at the 5K split. You looked good. I know you said you were starting to feel like you were fading by then, but you look good. I know looks can be deceiving.
Yeah.
But you look strong, and you were nowhere near last in your wave. And coming through for that final sprint, you were charging, and I could see the gritted teeth.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but
it was good to see you absolutely just smashing home. And who knows, on a different day you might have listened to your body or your brain and slowed down a little bit, and you might have come in 1 second over your PB. So the fact that you managed to pick it up on that, and it could have been as the margins could have been as small as you deciding to pick it back up on that 6th mile, or picking it back up 10 seconds after that 6th mile, or 5 seconds, or whatever the PB was. It was about a 4 or 5 second PB.
3 second PB.
3, yeah. So that's why the margins are so small. And sometimes when you just feel yourself slowing down in a race, if you kind of allow that to creep in too long, that could be the difference between the PB being on or off. So
that was the splits.
Yeah.
So you can see I properly started to feel it in 4 and 5, but then managed to pick it back up.
Yeah. But you've got a proper that shape, haven't you?
Yeah.
Rock on.
Amazing.
Yeah. So your splits look like a Spanish bull with 2 horns, and then it goes flat for the head, then it picks back up again. But no, I think you did really well. And it must have been quite an experience rubbing shoulders with some of those. Was it 55 people went sub 30 this year?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, which is mental.
Sub 30.
That's a deep field, isn't it?
That's stacked. Do you know one thing that I found completely bizarre, especially from someone who's nowhere near wave one, but at the start of the race, you were all one pack. Like by you were probably 600-700 meters into the time I saw you, I think, as a guess. But in that time, from the front to pretty much the back, the wave was one start pack. So even the people towards the rear of the pack were still really, really hard, good runners. And it was amazing to see just how quick runners run. It was just a really good race to spectate, just to see, how quick runners approach that. And you probably were in awe as well, watching all these runners around you.
Mate, it was incredible. And because it's got that big long out and back bit down that one path, as you're going down to the cone, all of the front runners are coming back. But well, basically everyone in front of you see coming back the other way. And they are absolutely flying. They make you feel like you're going at a snail's pace.
How did they look facially? Did they look controlled and relaxed?
Yeah. The guys right up the front looked like they weren't putting in any effort at all. But they are pushing it, and they feel exactly the same as you do. So, yeah.
When Jack Rowe and Phil Sessman ran past me towards the end, and what was the third guy? Something Omar?
Kadar Omar.
Yeah. When those guys ran in, it reminds me of when I go over the field with Daisy. She's got a little greyhound friend, and Daisy thinks she's quick, giving it the big one. But every now and again, this greyhound will just show her who's boss. And this greyhound will match her pace at what feels like a jog, and will just sort of just have this little strut about them. And it's the stride length. It's the stride length and the power that's generated through that stride. And it's just, I mean, the stride length, God knows how long those strides are towards the end of a race of an elite field. But the speed that you move your head, you feel like you're at Wimbledon. You just watch someone just serve an ace, and you just zoom. You feel like you're at a Formula One meet or something. But seeing those guys was just, it was really, really inspiring. And it was just great. I love to see. And do you know what? Do you know one moment? I think we captured this on camera that I really liked. Was seeing a guy who'd obviously had a bad day at the office in wave one. And he looked white as a sheet. I don't know where he'd started struggling from or what was wrong with him, but he was basically jogging to the finish.
Yeah.
But I really like that because he might have felt embarrassed. He might have felt like I should have been up there with the sub-30ers and he came in at 36 or something. God knows. Well, but he got his medal and he finished the race.
I was watching a video of the finish line that somebody put up on YouTube yesterday. And that guy that you filmed more or less jogging past, he still came across the line in 32 something.
What? Oh my God, I thought he was towards the back of the wave. Wow, so he would have been, probably hoping for 31 or lower. Or
Yeah. But I tell you what, the amount of people who dropped out was crazy. And there's got to be two different reasons that they're dropping out. And one of them I can understand. The other one sort of doesn't play well with me. And one reason is they've gone out way too fast and they've blown up and they just can't physically carry on and they need to stop. So fair play to them. If you're at the point where you can't carry on, you're gonna collapse if you carry on, then you need to DNF. But there were so many people who you could tell had decided to stop because they weren't going to PB or weren't going to run a very good fast race.
Yeah.
Which doesn't sit very well with me. If you enter a race, surely you want to get to the finish. Just because it's not going to look good on your record or on your power of 10, that you didn't hit a great time that you would be able to show off about, is that a reason to drop out? I don't know.
maybe that's the I don't know, sub 33 mentality of a 10K runner. Maybe they just
Yeah,
think, because you see it at marathons, don't you? I mean, again, maybe they're just literally exhausted.
yeah,
And maybe some of them are thinking, well, I'm going to pull out of the Olympics because I've got Valencia and I'll just have another go then.
yeah,
Or I've got such and such a race coming up. So it doesn't matter if I don't finish today. So it's part of me understands it, but
yeah,
they're elites. They're
yes,
doing this for money. They
yeah.
need to be tip top. They need to be on top form because it could be the difference for them losing their house or not. Do you know
Well,
what I mean?
exactly.
It,
Yeah,
it's a fragile income, isn't it, for a lot
yeah,
of athletes? So
yeah,
if they've got a chance of coming in the podium, they're going to go for it. And if that
yeah,
means dropping out of a race that's not the A race,
yeah,
understandable.
yeah,
But yeah, I kind of see what you're saying.
yeah,
If you're just feeling like you've got your tail between your legs and you've had a bit of a bad day at the office and you don't want to, you're going to look maybe running past your mates who are waiting for you at the finish line and they're going to, maybe they're just worried
yeah.
about what people will think, or I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can sort of understand it, but it's just, yeah. To me, if I've started a race, I'm going to finish it. I don't care
Yeah.
what happens. If I
Yeah.
blow up, I've blown up. I still want to get across that finish line.
Yeah.
But I mean that's one of the reasons Kipchoge was so great. The
Yeah.
first marathon he ever DNF'd was the Paris Olympics this year, and it's because he was injured and he
Yeah.
wasn't quite right. Other than that, if he's had a bad day at the office, he still carries on and he finishes.
Yeah, I like that because at Boston, I think he was, they made a big thing of him being there, and he was,
Yeah, yeah,
he was the headliner basically, and everyone thought he. So I think it was the race that was just after Boston when he ran that, when he nearly beat his own world record. Oh no, he nearly broke 2:01, or maybe he did. I can't quite remember, but it was the race after that, and then he had basically a shocker, didn't he, in
yeah.
Boston, and I think but I can't remember how he did. He ran about two. I mean, a
I think
shocker is relative. I think he ran about 2:10 or something like that.
no, I think it was possibly a 2:05 or something like that.
Oh, what? Oh, was it? Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I think he came possibly. I think it was something like he came 10th rather
yeah,
than
that's it.
being
Yeah,
right up the front. Yeah,
but he could have quite easily called it.
yeah,
At 30K when he knew
exactly.
this was going to, yeah, but he didn't. Carried on,
No,
and I
yeah,
really like that. And I think that's when you're at the top, setting that kind of example to people watching on. I think is the right thing to do. So, but it's easy for me to say that with my ability, but I do like the idea of starting a race because
yeah,
you learn lessons from that, don't you? And I don't know. Once you've done it once, you probably think, well, I can do it again and again and again. I don't know. So yeah, I quite like the idea of getting it completed. And maybe these
yeah,
people, I mean, this is controversial, but maybe they weren't in shape in the first place, and maybe they're in the wrong wave.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe they're not 10K specialists, and they went out at 5K pace and
yeah,
realized, actually, no, I can't do this.
yeah.
So yeah, God knows.
But yeah, we possibly need to give some shout outs to some people. So obviously there were three waves during Telford 10K. There was wave one, which was the elite men and all men sub 37. And then there was wave two, which was the elite women and everyone sub 41, I think it was, to be able to enter wave two. And then wave three was everyone, everyone else. But yeah, in wave one, there was a few people who we need to shout out.
First of all, the top three.
Oh yeah, we should definitely say that. Yeah, so the person who won it was Jack Rowe, who is an Olympian. He is an elite runner, and he crossed the line in a ridiculous 28:01, and I think he broke
31 seconds course record, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Broke course record by over 30 seconds, which is mental.
In Puma as well.
Well, yeah, all the top three broke the previous course record.
Yeah, that's mad. But he was in Puma, the Nitro, the DV8 Elite, or whatever they're called.
Yeah, the DV8
Was he in the
Nitro.
Fast Stars? Yeah, I can't tell what he
know.
was wearing.
I don't know. Yeah, he was definitely in Pumas, but whether it was the DV8 Nitro Elites or whether it was the Fast Stars, I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll have to have a look on the video. But we made a video about this. I know I mentioned it, but go if you're listening to this on Spotify or whatever, have a look at our YouTube channel because it was our last but one video. So go and have a look.
Yes. So our bonus video of Telford 10K. Andy did a great job of capturing the atmosphere and what the day was like at Telford. So
it was easy for me. I was always in zone 1. You guys were in zone 15. So it was all good for me.
Yeah. So top 3, Jack Rowe came in at 28:01. Phil Sessman came second in 28:26, which I think matched his PB from before. And then Kadar Omar came in at 28:33. So super fast top 3. Top 3 ladies, Amelia Quirk ran 32:34. Sarah Astin ran 32:42. And Natasha Phillips ran 32:56. So some super, super fast times from the ladies as well.
Yeah.
But in wave 1, along with me, we had Ryan Baker from Rayleigh's Adventures, who ran a PB. I think he ran 7-second PB, and he ran 33:46, which is super, super quick. So awesome running, Ryan. We also had TQ, Todd Quiney, who said he wasn't really in shape for running a 10K, but he went along and ran it anyway and ran 35:05. So still a great time.
Yeah.
And he he said exactly the same as me when he went through halfway. You went, "Come on, Todd, looking good," and he was like, "No, I'm really not feeling okay."
I'm going to start telling the truth now. Next time I spectate, I'm going to be like, "Come on, Todd, you're looking tired though, mate. What's the matter? Come on, what's the matter? Come on."
And then
you look terrible, Brett.
Do you know that would have been good because I would have been yeah, he's telling the truth, so it's all good.
I'll say that next time.
Yeah. And then we also had Harry Purewell, who on the start line, I saw Harry and I went, "So what you going for today?" And he went, "Oh, anywhere near my PB would be great." And I went, oh, "Okay, what's your PB?" And he said 35:47. And I was like, brilliant. My PB is 35:44. Right. I'm going to stick with you. I'm going to try and stick with you for the race. And he went, yeah. I'll probably be sticking with you, though, and be chasing you. And I went, oh, no chance of that. Anyway, we set off. And so the first mile, I stuck with Harry. And then he just disappeared into the distance. And his PB was 35:47. And he managed to break that by over a minute and ran a 34:45. So that is incredible, Harry. And there was no chance I was staying on you. So that incredible work.
34:45.
Yeah.
Is that what he did? Wow, that's
a minute and 2 seconds PB over 10K is crazy. So amazing running, Harry. And then in wave 2, we had Donato, who ran sub 40, which was great. He ran 39:29. I think that was his fastest 10K of the year. So he was very happy. Then also John Broom. So the two running brooms.
What a legend.
I know. Now, name me a nicer couple than
you can't. They're just such salt of the earth people.
Yeah.
And I've met them twice now, and they're just so nice to be around.
Yeah.
And they're brilliant runners with a wealth of experience as well, and they're just great people. So just
Yeah.
love them too, guys.
But I did find it funny because we saw John after his race, and he said, "I'm going to have to stop going to races where Brett is because every time he's there, I have a shocker."
See you in London, John.
Yeah.
If he's doing it, I don't know.
But John ran 41:30, which is still a great time. But
That's really good. Yeah.
he wasn't quite happy because he was hoping to run a sub 40, but he'd been feeling under the weather and not very well during the week running up to Telford. So he said in his video, if it was one of his runners that he coaches, he would have told them not to race.
Really?
But when do you ever take your own advice? I'm brilliant for that. I tell people what they should be doing and then do the complete opposite myself. So he went for it anyway. But still ran a great time, but wasn't quite what he wanted. And then in wave 3, we had Hayley Cotton from Rayleigh's Adventures, so the other part
Legend.
of Rayleigh, and she ran a PB at 46:08. She ran, so amazing work by Hayley.
Good day out for the Kenilworth runners, wasn't it?
I know, yeah. All 3 of them PB'd.
Yeah.
And then Dawn was also in wave 3, Dawn Broom, and she ran 44:30. So she ran a sub 45, which is amazing. We had Sam Bauer, who ran 44:17, which was amazing. He just appeared out of nowhere. He must have had such a strong finish because we were expecting him a bit later than where he was, and all of a sudden he was in front of us running to the finish.
Yeah. What was he wearing?
He was wearing his Secret Santa Marmite top.
Loves the Marmite sandwiches, our Sam.
Yeah.
And Secret Santa bought him a T-shirt that said Marmite on it.
Yeah, you couldn't miss him, bright yellow. And then we also had friend of the pod, Mac Ashworth, who was going for his sub 42, but didn't quite hit it, but did manage to PB by I think a minute, was it?
Yeah, he's made a good video about it, and he's obviously been putting his training on leading up to it. But no, he's made a good video about it. So go and have a look at that. Mac Tracks.
Go and check out. His channel is called Mac Tracks, so go and check that out. But he ran 42:32, which is fantastic, and his sprint finish, man, that was epic.
Yeah. I'd love to know how he did. Like, I wonder if you can look at the segments for that final sprint. I bet he was up there because he did all right, didn't he? He was running pretty quick towards the end.
And then Luke Henney ran 39:15, which I think was not only a PB in the 10K, but it was his first 10K race. So amazing work by Luke.
Amazing.
We also need to give a shout out to Richard Woolley.
Yes.
Who ran 47:53, and that was a PB, wasn't it?
Yeah. Can I just quickly write what he wrote to us? And I think it's really cool. He says, "Hi guys, Richard from Shrewsbury here. Just wanted to say big thanks to you both for all the inspiration listens every week. I ran Telford today and got a 47:53 PB. Previous was 51:30 at part of the Worcester half. The encouragement that we gave at halfway, like Andy and Brett gave, really spurred me on and dropped me down into the 7:15s. Spoke to you both briefly about the race and past history. Felt like a bit of a muppet, but felt compelled to tell you. Thanks again, and well done, Brett, on that amazing Telford time, Andy, and the amazing Valencia performance. P.S. Saying it's on, Rich, has become my new saying for the last K of any race, including Parkrun, which is a race. Fair play, Rich, man. I didn't realise I'd developed a catchprise, but I'll take it. But
it's amazing.
Whatever gets you over the line, you got to do what you got to do. But well done, Rich. That was a really inspiring performance, and we love cheering you along. So well done, mate.
Amazing work. And then the last one I've got on my list was a surprise, which on the way to Telford, we were looking at the start list, and I noticed a name, and I went, that's interesting. Surely maybe he entered and he's not going to race it, or maybe it's another person with the same name. And then wave 3 come past, and we see a smile and a shout to us, and we were like, "No way, he is here!" And Lee Neal made his comeback at the Telford 10K.
What a
It was
hero!
amazing to see him running again, and he even went and smashed out a sub 40. So he ran 39.50.
Hasn't he done like 12 runs or something to train for this? And he's back to sub 40 already after a bit of a hiatus.
Yeah.
So fair play, Lee. It was great to see you out there.
Yeah.
So,
and I was going to say this earlier when we were talking about them, but when he ran past, I was like, "Oh man, he's got a knock on his nose. Must be from the boxing that he's been doing." And then I remembered what it was from, and he, on one of his training runs the other week, he put a nasal strip on, and then when he took it off after the run, it took all his skin off as well.
Yeah, if you want a review about nasal strips, go and ask Lee what he thinks of them.
So he's just got this mark, like this scab across the top of his nose, where his all his skin got peeled off by a nasal strip.
He looks like a proper well-hard geezer. But when you ask him, what's happened, he just ripped a plaster off his nose.
He just wanted to breathe a little better.
Wanted an extra 20% oxygen saturation. Oh, fair play, Lee. It was good to see you, mate. And well done.
But Telford, what a great day. We really enjoyed our day there, didn't we? Had a great day out.
And I quite like that it is 3 waves. I mean, we were there for a good fair few hours, weren't we? We got there for about 8. Yeah. Probably didn't leave till 1, 2 o'clock. But the organisation, I mean, I didn't know what it was like at the start line, but it seemed bang on. Seemed like all really the waves were, everyone knew what they were doing. And so, I would, from what I saw, I mean, I won't be doing it in 2025 because I'm pretty sure it'll be the week after Valencia, because we're running on the 7th of December, which I imagine it might even be on that weekend or the weekend after. So I almost certainly won't be running Telford, but go ahead and get yourself booked in, because it's just seems to be one of those races where you just get a PB, you just get pulled over the line by the other runners.
Yeah, even if I'm not racing it, I'm tempted to go up and spectate again.
Yeah. Because it was just really good as well, just to see the real elites at the front. And did you see Mark Scott on the video as well?
Oh,
did you see him?
So he was watching. He was down on the start list, but I'm not sure why he didn't run. But he was there watching, wasn't he?
He appears just before the front runners come in to finish. He sort of just walks onto the course and has a little look at the clock, and just to see, if the course record's in the sights of the runners, and you sort of see him just walk onto the. And I felt a bit starstruck. And that's someone else we need to mention, Sheridan as well. So I met a guy called Sheridan who was spectating, and he came up to me at the start, and we had a chat. And he was like, "Go and speak to Mark. Go and get him on your podcast." Hi, Mark. Do you wear nasal strips? I don't know. I wouldn't know what to say. Did you rub shoulders with the marshal when you ran past him? I watched someone interview Phil Sessamon. I don't know if you saw that interview. You might have even sent it to me. I can't remember. But I saw some really good questions get asked. And I was just thinking, if that was me, interviewing, I'd be like, Pepsi or Coke, Aldi or Lidl. What on earth would I ask him? Yeah.
Hi, Phil. I really like your running.
Did you like running? Adidas. Takumi. Bye.
But
did you go to PB?
But Telford, what a great day. So a great race, really worth going. Get yourself signed up if you fancy it. Yeah. But we should move on though to you and your magic mile that you ran on Wednesday. So what's that, 2 days ago?
Yeah. So down at track, because it's the last track session of the. We're quite lucky, Black Pears. They do track sessions like 12 months of the year, which is quite cool. Whereas I know a lot of clubs like yours, you move onto the roads for the winter and stuff.
Yeah.
But we stay on the track, and because it's the last one of the year, they said, right, let's do a magic mile, which is basically let's organise ourselves. It's not. It's not marshaled or anything. It's not like a proper event. It's all done to your own watch. So it's not an official thing. But yeah, let's sort of basically go off in two waves. I think they did people looking for a 7-minute mile and above. They went out first, so they did their lap, their laps, and then when that was done, the people looking for a 6:30 and below, something like that, went out in our sort of wave, I guess you could say. But yeah, so all this track work I've been doing over the last 5 months, I think, since I started in the summer, came to a head today. On Wednesday, because I treated it like a race, really. Well, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
I treated it like a time trial, because I did say beforehand, I don't care about beating anyone or them beating me. I just want to race against the clock, and my target was sub 6. So I've never run a 6-minute mile. I think looking through my Strava, which again is not exactly great evidence, said that my fastest ever mile was during the Redditch Kingfisher 10K, which was 6 minutes 18, I think, which would have been our last mile.
Yeah.
So yeah, the idea, like it's some created idea. What you have to do at a mile at track is 4 laps, but your first lap is like 409 meters or something, I think.
Yes,
that's about right, isn't it?
So a mile is 1609 meters.
Yeah.
So 1600 would be 4 laps exactly. So you start 9 meters behind the finish line. So you run that 9 meters and then 4 laps.
Yeah. Because I don't know if because I did put a video out about this, but I don't know if you've seen it, but you can hear the coach called Dan sort of giving a quick overview, a quick briefing before we started. And he said, I don't want to hear anyone saying on Facebook or moaning that their mile PB is faster than their actual PB, because Strava said they ran a faster mile. He said, this is the start, literally pointed at it. And he said, that is the finish. That is exactly a mile. I don't want to hear that anyone has run a faster mile on Strava.
Yeah. See, that's the great thing about track, is because it's officially measured as a 400-meter track. There is no way that anyone can claim that they've run more or less than a mile, because if you start on that mile marker and you do 4 laps and 9 meters, that is exactly a mile.
Well, you can run more, can't you? Because you can overtake on the outside.
Yeah,
that's up to you. That's a bit like a marathon, isn't it?
But that's part of racing. Yeah, but the track exactly is 1 mile.
Yeah. So what I did was we all went off together, and I was. But just to give a bit of context as well. So I wanted a 6-minute mile, which you said it's easy to break up. Just do 4 laps of 90 seconds, and then on the 4th lap, just go as hard as you can. And just calculate when and where and how much you've got left. That dictates when you go, when you start to put your foot down. So I manually lapped because I always have my K splits on, but obviously if I hadn't touched my watch, I would have got a K split, which I'm glad I didn't. So what I did was I manually lapped every time I crossed the line, so I could see if I was on pace. Now, at that pace, I found, and it because it was pitch black as well, and it was biblical weather as well, which did not help. You just almost don't have time to study your watch, unless you've got your numbers massive on your watch. Like on my race screens, on my data screens are quite small.
Yeah.
So I almost didn't have time to obsess over numbers. I just had a feel. And there was no paces. There's people who were saying approximately what time they wanted to go. A couple of people said they wanted 6 minutes, but 9 seconds, because I ended up getting in 5:51. Sorry for a bit of a spoiler.
Spoiler alert.
9 seconds is quite a lot over the track, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, that's might be, I don't know, 50 meters or more. So I was following a couple of people towards the start, or I had them in my sights, who said they wanted a 6-minute mile. So you said to me this time last week, 90-second laps, send it on the last lap. So first lap, got round 128. Pleased with that. That was quite good, especially because it's a slightly longer lap as well. So I went out quite fast. I went out quite fast. Second lap, 131. So slowed down slightly, but still bang on pace.
Yeah.
131 or 132. I think it was
131. I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah. And then third lap, I was around about the same time. I think I might have been 129 for that third lap. So still, here we go. I've got the splits here. Third lap, 128, 131, 129. So really happy with the pacing.
Yeah, perfect. That is.
And at this point, Mac, who had been sort of behind me, came past me on the home straight and did his last lap. He kicked a bit harder than me. And I just had a sort of chat with myself and said, shall I go with him? Shall I go with him? I decided not to, because I just, at that moment, just thought, no, just going to remember, I'm not racing anyone. All I want is that I don't want to go too soon and find it too hard. In hindsight, I probably wish I had, but hindsight's wonderful, isn't it?
Of course.
But I did that 300 meters and got round the bend. And then I ran the last 100 as hard as I physically could. And I managed to clock that last lap as 122. And I got in at 5:51.
Amazing.
So just really, really, really pleased with that, because I'd said to myself, anything below 6 minutes, then Parkrun on Saturday, it could be on. Anything between 6 and 6:15, we're in not ideal territory. Let's just put it down to a bad night at the office, or not a bad night at the office, but something's not gone the way we want it to go. And then anything below 6:10 or 6:15, it's going to be a slog on Saturday. So to have come in at sub 6, I was really genuinely happy with that. And my pacing, I know obviously on the track, it only gives you an overall pace once you finish. So it's obviously inconsistent. But my first lap said 3:35 a K, second 3:36, third lap 3:35, fourth lap 3:13 a K. So much, much faster than I've ever run. But it's only a mile. I've got to run three and a bit of them on Saturday. So,
but at a slightly slower pace, so therefore it's on.
Well, yeah. I mean, I actually felt okay, on that third lap, coming into I guess be like a park run. 3/4 of the way through anything that's a race, you start to really doubt and question everything. But I actually felt okay, so much so that I managed to find something to give on that last lap. So I felt like I was fairly disciplined. Maybe I could have run it faster if I'd have gone out a bit faster, but who knows? Maybe I would have completely found that last lap horrendous if I did. But I stuck to the plan. I tried to be a good student of the Running the Red Line scholarship program, and listened to coach who said run 90-second laps, and that's what I did. And then put my foot down on the fourth lap and was pleased to do 5:51. And fair play to Mac, by the way, who did about a 5:47, 5:48, I think. And he went with about 500 meters to go, 450 to go. And I just couldn't, I just didn't go with him. And I don't think I could have gone with him. But he did a really good mile as well.
Especially after Telford on Sunday.
Amazing to have come up with that after running a hard 10K. So, and he's going to be joining us as well on Saturday for the Parkrun. So, he's definitely on sub 24. Yeah.
So, fingers crossed we can get you over that line on Saturday. But, mate, that I sent you a message, didn't I, and said it was a written script.
Yeah.
The fact that you did 90-second laps more or less exactly for the first 3 and then just kicked it on that last lap. It was perfect.
I put my Takumis on.
Yeah.
And just felt really good. Just felt like just felt good. And I'm really pleased it went well. because I think I would have started to really doubt whether I could do Saturday. You doubt whether you can do it anyway, but once you've got almost evidence to doubt that you can do something, that would have really put a downer on Saturday. But it's done the opposite for me. And apparently, people are telling me that with a 5:51 race equivalent time to that is not a 19:59 or a 20-minute finish for the 5K. But I don't know if you're. I don't like VDOT and race equivalent things because I'm not a robot, and I'm also not the quickest of quick. I think the further up you are in the pack and up through the field, the more almost robotic you can become. But especially when you're where I am and slower, race equivalent times are almost never a fair, accurate barometer, because VDOT doesn't calculate whether you're running at 9 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock at night. It doesn't calculate whether you've got a cold, you've got the flu, you've got COVID, you've just had COVID, you've got sore legs, you've been trying to not run after, so you've been running after Boba for 16 hours straight. He's trying to like jump on your cupboards and so it doesn't, it's like perfect world scenario stuff. So loads of people say, well, VDOT says you can do this. I was like, well, yes, but I'm not a robot.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not a robotic. So, we'll see what happens tomorrow. I'm going to give it everything. And if my everything is enough on the day, hopefully it'll be enough.
Yeah. Well, if we believe predictions, my Coros my Coros app says I should be running a 2:41 marathon.
Imagine that. Yeah.
So you can't always believe the predictions exactly what they're saying.
Yeah, and sometimes you can overachieve as well. I mean, it doesn't happen very often to a lot of us.
Of course.
But sometimes you can run faster than maybe what your predictions are. So sometimes those times can sandbag you a little bit, can't they?
Yeah.
You can listen to them too much and you can slow yourself down. And I mean, normally they're on more of the optimistic side, but
yeah. I mean, like Redditch Kingfisher 10K. If you'd have listened to what predictions would have said, you wouldn't have run what you did.
No, especially on the lead up. When I looked at those equivalent times, what I'd run recently, I probably would have run a minute or two slower. So but it was really good experience. So I'm not going to call it a race, but it's my first track race. My first track experience of a time trial, and I enjoyed it. It was quite good.
Amazing.
And a few people overtook me. I overtook a couple of people. I tried to stick like glue to that inside of lane 1. And it's just good fun. So whether or not I'll do any more track stuff,
well,
I don't know.
Now you're in a club. That means next year you can come and join us at the Vets League.
Again, terrified of coming last because those fields seem to be not only stacked but quite thin as well. So there is a very realistic chance of coming last, which I know is just not what it's about. It's about getting points for the club and having a good laugh and having a good experience. But I also don't want to come last. But I'll consider it. I've done 1 mile time trial, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. But but I did enjoy it.
Awesome. Before we move on to the next thing, I'm just going to quickly go and use the loo.
Okay. All right. No worries, dude. But I found the results of the Malaga marathon, which was last weekend, just gone, I think.
Yes.
And
it was the same day as Telford, wasn't it?
Yeah. The winners were in some pretty lightning quick times, slightly slower than I thought. But the winner was Vincent Kipkorea, who did it in 2:08:06. Second was 2:09:22, which is Mika Kipkosgei. And third was Andrew Rotich Kwemoy. And the leading lady was gender position 1. She came 17th in all in all and finished in 2:25:10. And her name was Ainalem Desta. And she did it in 2:25:11. So pretty quick race by looks. So I think it's a flat marathon. from what I understand. But I think there's a hill or two towards the start. But that's one for a lot of people to consider for next year.
Yeah, some of the people who were thinking of doing Valencia and didn't, were thinking of Malaga instead, weren't they?
And some people will have booked it thinking that Valencia wasn't going to happen, and it did. And I wonder if they've done it as well.
Yeah, possibly. But yeah, at Malaga, one of the girls from B&R was running Malaga.
Yeah.
And so Faye Stanyard, she ran her second fastest ever marathon.
Yeah.
Sorry. So yeah, Faye, she ran her second fastest ever marathon. She was third in the V45 category.
Yeah.
And she was 51st female overall, and she ran the London Championship qualifier time, so she can do London Marathon. So she did 3:07. So amazing work from Faye.
That's incredible. I'd love to chew her ear off and find out more about Malaga, because I wouldn't mind having a go at that one year and find out how hot it was, and what the whole experience was like.
Well, hang on, I'll tell you temperatures, because it will be on her Strava, won't it? Let me have
it's all in. Mine's all in Fahrenheit though, so I don't understand it.
That's because you're on kilometers. Because you've
metric.
Yeah. So you've gone.
So Celsius is imperial, then, is it?
I think so. It doesn't say. No, normally it says, doesn't it? All those things, but it doesn't actually say on a Strava.
So in America, they've got Fahrenheit imperial temperature. No, a metric temperature, but their mileage is their distance. They use miles. Imperial.
Well, I don't know.
No one in America is using Ks, are they?
No way.
And when you tell them it's 23 degrees, they're like, "What? What does that mean?" But if you mean it's 92?
I like your American accent. That was good.
You mean it's 92 here in Texas?
Brilliant, like it. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, next thing we possibly need to go through is something we haven't done for a few weeks, and that is to go through some of the comments.
I thought you were going to say talk about running.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got some comments and emails. We've actually got a fair few to get through, haven't
we? Yeah. So, first one is from Sensi Simon from a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And it says, Andy, you've officially made it as a running YouTuber. You were featured on Tim Gross's latest video.
Honoured. Yeah. I watched it, but after the Valencia Marathon, because I saw what happened to one or two others who got featured on a video or two before, which was like lead up to Berlin or New York, and a few people laid into a few people. So I thought, if I read that and read something I don't want to read in the comments, because it's natural, isn't it? If you've been mentioned, you're going to want to see what people are saying. So I had no part of it. I was like, I don't want to read anything about it. And so I ended up having a look about it, but retrospectively. But yes, it was a big honor.
Excellent. And then at Matrix Blue says, which shoes are you wearing at London, Brett? The Adidas Adios Pro 4. And this was when we were talking about what kit you were going to wear for Valencia, and I said I already know exactly what singlet and what shoes, and they've not even been released. But yes, it will be the Adios Pro 4 that I'll be running London in. I cannot wait to get my hands on a pair.
I wonder are you going to go to the running show in Birmingham January? Because I bet you they'll be on display and available to test. So I don't know if they'll even be on sale. They might be on sale by then.
Yeah, they go on sale January the 4th.
So you probably
first week of January.
Have a pair. You probably have a pair by Birmingham then.
Possibly, I don't know. I don't know whether to go for the release colorway or to wait and go for one of the different colorways.
Yeah, because there sure as hell won't be any show deals on the Pro 4s, will there?
No.
If they're a brand new product. So yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. Then next is
Mate, Boba.
I know.
I saw him.
Just gonna get him. I know, but you're not supposed to be up there, are you?
Come on, Bobes.
I know. You know. Look, say hello to everybody.
He just wants to cause chaos.
Yeah. Next one's from Kieran Turner, and he says, "Finally finished the pod. Well done on not effing it up, Andy."
Yeah.
We like to say.
I like the word "finally," by the way.
Yeah, I know.
It's that long.
We like to say, "Don't be shit." Just before a race, as encouragement, obviously. Brilliant. And then next one is from the Woo, and he says, "Great episode, lads. Was a pleasure to share some of the weekend with you, Andy. Great race, and I'm sure we'll meet again."
Yeah,
Brett. Yes, the scenes I saw of the flood damage was massive. I was on a coach to Alicante, looked like a city of mud and cars. Also, regarding the weird thing that with everyone trying to jump fences, etc., someone commented on my vlog saying it happened in 2022 as well. I still don't know what happened. So,
how weird.
Bizarre, isn't it?
How weird.
Yeah. But have you seen the Woo's latest video?
Yeah.
Have you seen the footage he got out of the coach window of all the cars and everything and the mud?
Everything's just destroyed, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Then next one's from a friend of the podcast, Mac.
Here he is.
Big hype for this one. What a 2024 for Andy Mag.
Oh, thanks, mate. It's not finished yet. It's not over yet. He'll be a big part of it tomorrow as well.
Yeah, definitely. And then next one's from Matt Southam, and he says, "This was once a 2-hour podcast I had on my second monitor whilst playing World of Warcraft. I'm now streaming it the moment it's released, and it's my long run pod of choice. Andy and Brett, thank you. It's honestly like going for a run and having a chat with two of my mates. Andy, sweet. Well done."
Cheers, Matt. Nice one, Matt. I hope you're feeling better as well, because I know you've been feeling rough this week. So I hope you're feeling better, mate. And thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks so much, Matt. That's amazing. I love that. We were once in the background, now we're well and truly in the foreground. It's brilliant. Next one is from Ayrshire Runner, and says, "Great listen, guys. Gives me the buzz to start marathon training again. It's a tough old game, but you start to miss it. Congrats to Andy on a fantastic achievement."
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Next one's from Leggett Lee Neal, and he says, "Running the Mestalla, thinking about retro legendary players is the stuff of dreams are made of. Massive congratulations on the marathon and brilliant episode, lads."
Yeah, nice one, mate.
Did I say it wrong?
The Mestalla.
And the Mestalla, okay.
Yeah. You'll be running past that at 15K next year.
Yeah, and I'll go, oh, a football stadium. Woo.
I'll be quizzing you on your Valencia legendary football players.
Yeah. Next one's from Busby Brown 8308, and says, "Thought Spain was ahead in time, not behind." So we must have done some time calculations and got it wrong.
That will be in reference to when you got a message from me at 11 o'clock.
Yes.
So would it have been midnight for me then, or 10 o'clock? Would have been midnight.
Yeah. It would.
So I was out later than I thought then.
Yeah.
Not 10 o'clock. That's why I was so pissed, because I thought it was 10 o'clock. But it's probably
on
12.
The beers.
I was a right state. I was a right Brit abroad. Yeah.
Next comments from LOLO35. And they say, "Great episode, lads. Just making me think you had more left in the tank, feeling relatively okay at the end." So did you have more in the tank?
No, definitely not. Yeah, I could have run probably another marathon, to be fair, straight after it. No, I know what they're saying, but like, I think I left just enough to be able to do a harder finish. But when I crossed that line, I remember thinking, I can't run another centimetre further. I was just wishing that finish line to be crossed as soon as possible, because I was done. I'd had enough. But just because I didn't positive split it doesn't mean that I wasn't tired.
And you didn't puke at the end. So
that's probably the main one.
Yeah, you can't have pushed hard enough because you didn't puke.
I know. Yeah, I'll try harder next year.
Yeah. That was something that was quite... Sorry, going back to it. That was something that was quite funny at Telford. There was a guy with a broom who was just brushing away all the sick at the finish line.
Yeah.
Next comment is from Welsh Gaz. And he says, mate, we were all pretty lightheaded by the end of the night.
We bloody were. Yes, Gaz, yeah.
36 million the race generates. Based on support, I agree the locals were very happy for it to go ahead. The whole city was taken over. Yeah. I'm already booked for next year and had my permission slip signed by the wife. Hashtag unfinished business.
Yeah, so we'll see you there.
Welsh Gaz will be back there again. Next one's from Ben Maiden.
Do you know what's funny about Gaz, right? So me and Edwin, the Dutch guy I met on the start line, we were at the finish line and we were waiting to see if Gareth had finished, but none of us knew his second name, and I only follow him on Instagram. His name on Instagram is Dangerous Hamster. And I was like, shall I type in hamster just to see if his name's Gareth Hamster? And it wasn't. No one came up. Gareth Smith.
Surprising that, isn't it?
Yeah. Sorry about that, Gareth. I didn't know your second name to see if you'd finished. I was trying to track you. I was typing Dangerous Hamster and no one was going up. Oh, that did make me chuckle.
Brilliant. Next comment's from Ben Maiden, and he says, great listen as always, guys. My time guess from last week's pod matched Andy's. So he guessed exactly the same time that you wanted to do.
Yeah, that's what I fancied. So yeah.
Next time.
Yeah.
Next time. Next one's from Mark Stockwell. It says, congrats on the massive PB, Andy. I enjoyed reliving the fantastic race on the vlog and the podcast. Thanks for the shout out. Like you, I ran my perfect race with even pace and a 40-second negative split.
Yes.
My 3:28 should get me a good for age place at London 2026. I'm off to Boston in 2025. Look at that.
Amazing.
Oh, wow. I'd love to do Boston. So amazing stuff, Mark.
So exciting.
I think to be able to run strong all the way to the end of a marathon, to finish with a smile on your face, is much better than bonking at 20 miles, no matter what the time. Based on your experience, what would you change next time? P.S. I went to the expo on the Thursday evening and it was empty.
Well, that'll probably be one of them. Get to the expo first and clear your Saturday. So all you've got to do is a shakeout if you want to do one, and then just relax the day before. Maybe acclimatize, so get there a day earlier, but I don't think I'll be able to do that. So I'm going to have to get there Friday again next year. But the other thing would probably be maybe go slightly harder at the start and put my foot down slightly sooner. So don't leave it until a K to go till I start to ramp it up. Maybe next time I'll do a mile, or I'll do, I'll get to 40K. But this is again, best case scenario. But next time I think I would probably do less of a easy start or a steady start. I think I'll go slightly harder from the gun next time.
Nice. Next comment's from Mark Hurdy-Gurdy. And he says, great episode and many congratulations, Andy. What an awesome PB. And thank you, Brett, for the Obi-Wan Run Club prize, being the closest guest to Andy's official time. Love the new shirts and hats from the Obi-Wan Run Club range and recommend ordering. Okay, awesome. So thank you very much, Mark, for your kind words. So they they are available if anybody's interested. Got running tees, running caps, and reflective beanies. So have a look if you're interested. Next one is from last week's pod, and it's from Davey7164, and he says, just got my Valencia spot, so hopefully see you guys next year.
Amazing.
So fingers crossed, both of us will be there.
Yep.
And I'm looking forward to it. And the next one is from Mike Harding, and he says, I made it onto the Strava segment, although it's probably an anomaly. I absolutely will take it. I've only been running for about a year, and I attribute a lot of my progress since I started to all the great insights I've been able to collect from Andy's videos and this pod. It also really helps with the paranoia to hear you guys going through the same stuff. I'll be running Milton Keynes on the 5th of Jan, going for a 30-minute PB of 3 hours and 40 minutes. Already stressing about it. Before I started training for this marathon block, I tried to incorporate everything I thought I needed to get it done. More mileage, better speed sessions, and S&C, etc. And I'll have no idea if it's worked until the day. So I had a couple of questions for you guys as you look forward to next year. Andy, are you sold on the progressive race strategy that works so well in Valencia? I'm planning to do this also. And do you think you've found peak mileage sweet spot, or are you planning to push for more? And then, Brett, do you have a strategy for avoiding any hamstring/calf injuries in the lead up to London? P.S. Can't wait for Brett and Andy. Brandy in Valencia.
I reckon we've got a brand of brandy ready and waiting to be
I think,
patented. Do you drink brandy? We have a brandy at Christmas, or it's not really a Christmas drink, is it? Really?
Not really. No, I don't really drink very often, to be honest.
Oh, you don't really, do you? To be fair,
no.
Yeah.
But that could be a something in the distant future. A running the red line brandy.
We'll put some electrolytes in it and call it a sports drink, like Logan Paul did. It's full of electrolytes. I think the progressive race splits, I can't keep doing it forever because I'm naturally gonna start ruining going out too easy. Yes, it's a lovely way. You feel great when you finish crossing the line, but eventually it's all going to catch up with me, and I'm going to get to a point where I'm just losing time at the start of a race. So at the moment, it especially during a marathon, yes, it was the perfect way to execute a race because you feel really proud of yourself. But you can't help but feel the what ifs after negative splitting. Unless you run the perfect time that you really want, you're going to be asking yourself what ifs. And as we all know, I missed out on my target by a couple of seconds, or maybe even 61 seconds, really, to get a sub 320. So, I do love progressively running races, but as I'm going to get quicker and my targets are going to get harder and harder to attain, it's going to even splits and positive splits are going to be the way forward. But in terms of volume, yes, I'm going to be chasing volume. I'm going to be trying to stack more volume for the next spring and summer and autumn blocks that I'll be doing. So yeah, I'm going to be trying to run more than ever. 2025, I'm going to try and just run more.
Nice.
Yeah.
What are you hoping for peak mileage in your next marathon block?
Well, this year I did in Ks. I did 105, 110, and then 120 for those 3 peak weeks. Yeah. Next year it'd be great to hit 3 120s, maybe cool. get up to 70 miles plus before peak week. So then when I hit peak week, I can do a couple of 80-mile weeks, maybe even 130s or something. So more running for me seems to sit well.
Yeah. Good. And then in response to my question of how to avoid hamstring or calf injuries, I wouldn't listen to my advice.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, I'm constantly injuring everything. I've spent the whole of this year injured pretty much. But I would say the most important things is S&C and keeping on top of that and do yeah, you bow your head in shame. Keep on top of your S&C and introduce it from the start of the block. Don't try and introduce it halfway through or towards the end, because it's not going to help at all. Make sure it's from the start. Secondly is really take your recovery seriously. So that means resting on your rest days properly and making sure that you are doing everything you can to get yourself prepared for your next run. So don't overdo it. Don't do things that could hinder your performance. And the next one would be sports massages. Go and get booked in with a physio and have a sports massage. I'm going to at least once a month during the marathon, during the London block, have a sports massage. I might even go every couple of weeks if I can afford it, just to flush out the legs and get them in tip-top condition for carrying on the training. So yeah, those three I would say are important things to think about for sure.
Sound advice.
And then we've got a few comments on already the
Telford video.
The Telford video.
Yeah.
So we've got one from Kieran Turner. Awesome running, Brett. Congratulations on the PB. Those front boys are rapid. Yes, they are. They are crazy fast, but awesome. Thank you, Kieran. Yeah, well happy. Friend of the podcast, Mac. Fantastic stuff, lads. Really captured the 10K Telford 10K vibes. As I said, yeah, you captured the day perfectly. Here he is, Leggett Lee. Brilliant episode, lads. Well done, Brett, on somewhat unexpected PB. Yes, it was unexpected, but yeah, I'll take it. Brilliant running. I really enjoyed the whole event. Such a showcase of what running is about. Good to be back at it myself too. I loved every second. Stay dangerous, guys. Lee,
stay dangerous,
mate. You smashed it, mate. Matt Southam, nothing fun about a 10K. Everything after the first 2K is pure struggle. It lasts longer than a 5K. Great work, Brett. Yes, there is nothing fun about a 10K whilst you're in the middle of it. But once you finish and that adrenaline's pumping, you're full of elation at the end. So yeah, although it hurts like hell, it's the feeling at the end is just incredible. Rayleigh's Adventures. So Ryan and Haley, epic bonus feature. The camera crisp detail, though. Yeah, you had your big camera there, didn't you?
My big camera, yeah. Sony A7 IV, if anyone's interested, and I had my 11mm Samyang f2 lens on it. If anyone's interested in the geekiness of photography.
Excellent. Next one is the Great 772. 14-minute split is insane. I can honestly say at 41, I'll probably never hit that, but maybe a sub 17 5K would be awesome one day. So Jack Rowe ran like the perfect race at the front. He split halfway at 14 minutes and then ran 28:01. So his second half was 14:01.
Because I said on the video that they were coming through at 14.5 minutes. Because I looked at the clock, but I didn't realize I wasn't at the 5K split. I was at about 5.7 or 5.4 or something like, I don't know, 300 meters from the split, do you reckon?
It's about 150.
Oh, was it?
Meters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, about 150 meters from the finish. Yeah.
So by the time I'd looked at the clock, obviously I was a bit out. But 14-minute splits times 2.
I know. And then in response to that, Yellow Folder said, I achieved a sub 17 at 41. I'm 42 now, so it's possible. Keep at it. Good Yeoman, I'm guessing that name is, says sub 17 would be pushing it, but it's definitely possible. And then the Great 772 responds with, been running 2 to 3 years and currently in sub 20 form. So hopefully if progress keeps going on the up, I'll be there in late 2026. Back in March, I ran a 26-minute 5K. So who knows?
Did you just say progress? Do you mean progress?
Yes, I know. I thought it said. I thought it said progression. So I said progress, and then it didn't have the "un" at the end. So I just carried on, hoping no one would notice.
I've
So,
made some really good progress. So
all right.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought it said progression, but then carried on running, and the "un" wasn't on the end.
Sorry.
So I just went with
Sorry.
it. I went
Yeah,
with it.
my bad.
Oh, do you know what the next question is? Well, the
Go on.
next comment. It's from Hussein Ubai, and he says, "What camera do you use, bro?"
A7 IV and yeah, Samyang 11mm lens f2.
Yeah, so there we go. Answer to that. Next comments from Where We Off, Dad, and it says, "Wow, top video. Give me guns. Go. Let me go again. Give me goosebumps. That race footage. Would love to do this race next year. Yeah, if you are looking to do it, yeah, sign up. It's definitely worth going along to."
Yeah.
Then Gary Manders says, "Congrats on the PB, Brett. Looked a fun morning. It was indeed a fun morning. Thank you, Gary." And then Alan McDougall says, "Nice one, lads. Looks a great race. The pace at the front end is wild. Well done on your PB, Brett." Thank you, Alan. That's amazing. And then John Comrie says, "I thought the race would be a bit dangerous, but that is a good idea with there being 3 different starters." So yeah, the 3 different ways is a great idea for those 3 different pace groups, because
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Jack Rowe was running through the 60-minute 10k runners?
Yeah.
That would get a bit hairy. So yeah, definitely the 3 waves is a good idea. But thank you so much to everybody for your comments.
We've got a couple of emails. Have we got time to go through them?
Shall we leave emails till next week? Because I know you've prepared something for this week, as it is the Christmas special. So shall we move on to that?
On that note, because next week will be our last in this current series, please write in either by email. We'll do a longer section on, it could be like a 6-hour podcast next week on you guys. So if you've got anything that you've done this year that's been, that you're massively proud of, or it's gone badly, or however, maybe you've run an ultra marathon, or you've just broke, I don't know, a 30-minute parkrun, or whatever you've done, let us know. We'll shout you out, because you guys have made us, you guys have really given us the motivation to keep doing this, because you're listening to it and engaging with it. So the least we can do is shout you guys out. So let us know if you've how your running has gone this year.
Send us your achievements, and we will celebrate those achievements at the end of this year.
Yeah. So I thought that'd be quite nice to finish on. But yes, it is time. I haven't said this for a while. For Brett's End of the Podcast quiz, the Christmas special. Are you ready?
Are you
ready for a 10-question? Yes, I'm not sorry. 10 question. In fact, there's 11. I've put 2 number 10s, so I couldn't decide to ask you about Christmas. So you can write these down if you like. Or do you want to do it like a pub quiz? Shall I just say yes or no? Or do you want to just, shall I tell you yes or no at the time if you get it right? Or do you want to do the answers at the end?
It's up to you.
Yeah, all right. We'll do it as we go then, to save a bit of time. Yeah. Okay. So question 1. The Bear and the Hare featured in the John Lewis advert in which year?
Well,
do you know what I mean?
Is that the one with the Lily Allen version of the Keane song?
Yeah.
That's got to be, oh man, what, 4, maybe 5 years ago? So I'm going to go 2020.
Dude, it was 2013.
What?
Yeah. 2013, mate. It was way before, because then we had like the Man in the Moon one, and there was loads of, and the Sainsbury's advert. The people at the.
So that's 11 years, not 4 or 5.
That's yeah. So yeah, close.
Man, that's
Wrong,
crazy.
wrong decade. Right, question 2. Now, this is we like to educate and inform on this podcast, so some things you will learn, like maybe this one. Which popular fast food restaurant is so popular in Japan on Christmas Day that it needs to be ordered months in advance?
I'm gonna go McDonald's.
The answer is KFC.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes.
Fried chicken.
Yes.
They are mad for fried chicken in Japan on Christmas Day. Apparently, to pick up your bucket, which is the most popular thing to order, you have to wait for sometimes hours for your store to open and get in line. And the most popular is the bucket with a wasabi and soy sauce condiments with a commemorative picture featuring Colonel Sanders as Santa.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's KFC.
Yes,
they love it.
Yeah, I have seen that before. So, yeah, I should have remembered that.
Right. What language is this? This means Merry Christmas, but in what language? Nadolig Lawen.
It sounds Welsh.
Correct.
Yes.
That's
Pop-tipping. Pop-tipping.
Now you know how to say microwave and Merry Christmas. Now you know how to say you want a microwave for Christmas.
Yeah.
Right. So question number 4. Okay, let me just prepare something because this is an interactive round. Just going to go on my YouTube history. Sorry, one sec. Like I said, could be a long. Here we go. Will it take me to a advert? Okay. You have got 30 seconds. You've got 30 seconds to give me a correct answer.
Are we going to get a copyright strike again?
You probably will, yeah. Okay, you ready?
You're gonna have to talk over it so it doesn't sound exactly like that, and we get copyrighted.
And there is no way this won't get copyrighted as well because there's only one thing this is from. Okay,
yeah, like last time with Purple Rain. Yeah.
Name the 9 reindeer.
Oh, the 9 reindeer. Oh, Dasher, Dancer, Prancer.
Oh, hang on.
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Donna, Blitzen, Rudolph.
I think there's at least 2 more you haven't said.
That's all I've got. There's Dasher and Dancer and Donna and Blitzen and Prancer and Dancer and no. I got about 6.
I think that'll be worth a copyright strike for that because that was quite good. What I didn't want to get is a copyright strike and you get all 9. So you could have had. I don't know the order. Rudolph, Dancer and Prancer.
Got those.
Dasher, Vixen.
Oh, I didn't get Vixen.
Comet and Cupid.
Didn't get those.
And Donna and Blitzen.
I've got those.
Now, I've learned from doing this quiz as well. Donna or Donder in German means thunder, and Blitzen, I think, means lightning. So, yeah. So, I don't know why, but I want to say this in a northern accent. What did the 3 wise men give baby Jesus? The question says the word baby. What did they give baby Jesus? Sweet baby Jesus and the orphans.
Do you want the actual answers, or do you want the ones from the bottom Christmas special?
Oh, is that going to be quite? No, I do. Is that going to be quite inappropriate?
Yeah. No. It was just like I just remember like one of them brought some aftershave called Grr, but it was gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Very good. And for an extra point, spell myrrh.
Oh, MHYRR.
Close. You've got all the letters, but in the wrong order. MYRRH.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah. Do you know any of the 3 wise men's names?
I was giving you a what do they call it? An anagram. There we go. I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
giving you an
yeah.
anagram.
You got. Technically, you got it, just in the wrong order. Do you know any of the three wise men?
Wise man 1, wise man 2, and wise man 3.
Casper, Melchior, and Balthazar. So yeah.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
Here's one you might know. Which country is Saint Nicholas from? Okay, maybe not them. Which modern day country was he born in?
Well,
I'll give you a clue. You might have been on holiday here. It's a hot country.
oh really?
Yeah, that's not too. It's sort of European, but not quite. It is European, but sort of not.
Okay. I was going to go Germany, but no, it's not.
No.
A hot country. European, but not.
But you probably, or most people you know, have been on holiday here.
No, I haven't got a clue.
What do you eat on Christmas Day dinner?
Oh, Turkey.
Turkey, apparently.
Really?
Which is where, which is where we get turkey on Christmas Day. No, that's a joke. I made that up.
I was going to say that's not true.
Do you know the reason why we have turkey? I did actually look this up.
No.
Do you know?
Because they can't get rid of it any other day. Time of the year
because
it's so dry. Everybody would rather have chicken.
There's not enough cranberry sauce in production. The answer is Henry VIII decided to make turkey a staple Christmas dinner because before that, royals were eating goose, hog's heads. That was very Partridge, wasn't it? And peacocks.
Okay.
So turkey became an exotic bird because they liked the way it looked uncut on the table. Apparently, it was a show of wealth. Right. Oh, wow. Question 7. I think this is gettable. What are the two names of the villains who tried to break into Kevin McAllister's house in Home Alone?
They are the Wet Bandits.
That is correct. But what are the two names?
Frank and Harry.
You've got one. Harry and Marv.
Oh, yes, it was Marv, yes.
Yeah. Next question. Which Christmas carol contains the lyrics, Star with royal beauty bright?
Star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to our...
Yeah. I don't know, I just went a bit football hooligan
We
then.
three kings of Orient are...
Yeah.
There we go, yeah.
I love that. Westward leading, still proceeding.
That's the football thug in you coming out
there. That's what they sing on the terraces at Millwall. Follow the yonder star, oh star of wonder, star of night. The X in Christmas stands for what?
Hang on, the X.
Sorry, X in Xmas.
I was going to say.
How do you spell it? It's got a silent X.
Stands for what? Well, it's got to be Christ, doesn't it? Because it's Christmas.
Yeah,
but
I'll give you a point.
Is it the cross that he was?
It comes from the Greek word for Christ is Christos with an X. And it's become Xmas.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's abbreviated to Xmas now because of Christos. Right, this is 2 question 10s, but I like them both, so I couldn't choose, so I've kept them both in. In the Ukraine, what is a Christmas tree traditionally decorated with?
Ooh.
And I've got the backstory when you're ready.
That's a very good question.
I'll give you a clue. It's not lights and baubles.
That's exactly what I was going to say, because you've put this question in. It's not going to be something that's traditional to us. Let's go. I know it's going to be something really left field, but
should I give you a clue?
You go on then.
Think Halloween.
Pumpkins?
Yeah, you're on the right lines, but it's would you be shocked if I told you in the Ukraine, families adorn their Christmas trees with spider webs instead of decorations?
wow.
This custom comes from a folktale about a poor widow who couldn't afford decorations, and on Christmas morning, her children found their tree covered in beautiful webs spun by sympathetic spiders. This is believed to bring good luck for the coming year.
Oh wow. Okay. I can
Sympathetic
see that
spiders.
because it would also look like snow on the tree.
I think it would look quite good, actually.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
bit of yeah. And this is equally question 10, which I think you'll like. In Sweden, which cartoon is commonly watched on Christmas Eve? 40% of the country are said to tune into it. So it's I'm looking for a cartoon sort of character, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So like Tom and Jerry, for example, or that sort
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah. Christmas Eve, Sweden. Oh man.
Tell me if you want a hint, or do you think you can get it? Or
Is it
would it be a guess?
is it Christmassy or just
No.
no? Okay. Give us a hint.
If you know what colour the Swedish national football team play in, I'm pretty sure this character is the same colour. Can you picture the Sweden football team?
Yeah, they're playing yellow.
Yep. I'm now
Um,
just questioning whether I've said the right thing.
what? Bart Simpson.
Oh, okay. So, all right. No, I might have said it wrong here then. I should have gone with Holland. No, actually, no. Forget what I just said about football because it doesn't really
Okay.
wear nothing to do with yellow. Actually, forget that. The animal has got a first name that is very popular at the moment, or unpopular in America.
Oh, Donald
Controversial.
Duck.
Donald Duck, yes. So
Yeah,
I was
he
thinking,
wear,
he's yellow.
He doesn't wear any yellow.
I was
He
thinking of
wears
his
blue.
beak. I was thinking of
He
his
wears-
beak and his feet. It's not even yellow, orange. Should have gone with Holland. Yeah, he wears his
Oh,
beak.
Donald,
The
you
beak he
decided
wears
to wear the yellow beak and feet.
Where's your normal beak and feet, Don? So there you go. There was your end of the podcast quiz Christmas special.
Amazing.
So we're done for another year. And
Amazing.
yeah, I was up to literally 1:30 doing that last night.
Brilliant.
So, but it was worth it.
Is there a better way to spend your time?
I don't think so. That's
Exactly.
why I've been yawning all day.
Right. So, thank you for that, dude. That was good fun.
Welcome.
Next, we need to do the Strava segment. So last week's leaders. In first place with distance was Robert Mills with 66.1 miles. Second was Nicholas Forsman with 64.8. And third was Steve Turner with 63.5 miles.
Nice.
Our climbing leaderboard. First was Ash Spedding with 3,373 foot. Second was Richard Kane with 2,835 foot. And third was Rich Steedman with 2,789 foot. So awesome work from all of those. And then once again, I haven't looked at it and found our top three ladies, so I'm going to have to go through it now. So first was Chloe Hamard with 54.2 miles. Second was Victoria Lee with 50.2 miles. And third was hang on. Ash Spedding with hang on. Oh, I've lost it. Yeah, Ash Spedding with 35.2 miles. So amazing work, all of those people on our last week's leaderboard.
Fair play. Well done, guys. Was it Rob who was the top of the leaderboard?
Yeah, Robert Mills.
Rob sent us an email, but we're going to get through that next week.
Yes, we will,
because we haven't got enough time. But yeah, so I just saw heard Rob's name then, and saw I've got his email in front of me, but we've run out of time because the end of the podcast quiz was too long.
Yes,
so sorry about that. But yeah, we're going to get through. We'll have a bit of a celebration of our achievements next week.
Yes, a year in review.
Yeah. So I was thinking maybe me and you could maybe put together our, I don't know, favorite 5 moments or something, or favorite 5 achievements of the year, and then we can shout out loads of others that have had similar experiences.
Yeah, amazing.
So yeah,
awesome. So yeah,
last thing I was going to ask you, Christmas Day is literally 5 days away now, 20th of December.
Yes.
What will it look like for you?
I think I'm going to do the same as I do every year, and that is get up early, run down to Parkrun, run Christmas Day Parkrun, and then go back home, sit with the cats for a bit, and then run up to my sister's and have Christmas dinner with all the family at my sister's. And then just have a evening after that of sitting down, doing pretty much nothing, and the only exercise I will probably have during the evening will be walking to the table to grab some more food and then sitting back down again.
S&C Christmas style.
Exactly. Yeah. Nice. I'm gonna eat my body weight in picky food and cake. Yeah.
Sounds absolutely joyous.
Yeah. How's about you?
I'm going to do a similar thing. So I'm going to drive up to Worcester Woods Parkrun. Last year I did it last 2 years running. I've done Christmas Day as an elf, but since we've moved house, I can't find the elf costume anywhere. So I might have to be a makeshift elf. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to have to try and find it. But anyway, then I've got to go and pick up my mum's. I'm going to drive to Bromsgrove, and then I'm going to bring it back here. So I'll probably get back here for lunchtime or something like that. Then we are going to have a monstrous dinner. We're going to have, a dinner that's like, we're going to have about 18 different types of potatoes. It's just like Christmas dinner is just like we'll have mash, we'll have roasties, I don't think we'll have bother with new potatoes. We'll have dauphinoise, man. Just anything in double cream. It's like, yes, please. I'm going to do a cauliflower and broccoli a cheesy collie and broccoli. So I'm going to attempt to do that. Laura's going to do. She's in charge of potatoes. So we're going to start prepping that Christmas Eve, and then similar to you.
Are you going to have sprouts?
Yes, we're getting sprouts, but they're not popular in our house. We're only getting them because my mum insists on having sprouts.
Yeah. Well, it's not Christmas without sprouts. But I love sprouts. I think they're.
Are you a big fan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Big fan.
They're quite a beefy vegetable, aren't they? A sprout. It's quite a weighty. It's quite a filling vegetable, which I quite like.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to make a nice onion gravy, I think, to go with the turkey.
Nice.
I think. As well, and then I'm making myself hungry just thinking about all this food, and then we are going to just sit and chill. And I'm excited for the Gavin and Stacey Christmas special because I'm a big fan. So that's on at 9 o'clock or something. It's the last one they're ever doing. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
And then, for like days and weeks after, I think it's just going to be a whole lot of nothing. Whole lot of chilling.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
I think Christmas is the only time I really watch like terrestrial TV, like normal TV. I don't watch like live TV or normal TV for most of the year. It's only when Christmas when they've got it on whilst we're just sat relaxing.
Yeah. So it's going to be hopefully, I'm sure it'll be a good Christmas, and we hope all of you listening and watching have a Merry Christmas too.
Yes, have an incredible Christmas. Hope Santa brings you all of the running gear you've been desiring. And if Santa doesn't bring it, just treat yourself. Just
go get it anyway. Yeah. Get yourself a present. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But we will be back next week for the end of the year review. But yeah, have a wonderful Christmas. And just enjoy all of that turkey, that dry turkey.
I'd rather go vegan. I'll have a nut roast. I think I have turkey just to endure it. I don't actually really physically enjoy it, but I think I just have it because it's tradition. We're actually having a 3-meat dinner. I forgot to mention that we're having beef. We're having beak. We're having turkey beak. Yeah. It's bright yellow. And we're having beef and pork as well. So we're just having everything from the shop.
Although, hang on, I have just got to say, because I know there are lots of people that will pick us up on that. Donald Duck doesn't have a beak; he has a bill.
Yeah, I wouldn't have picked you up on that. He does. Yeah, a duck's bill, isn't it? Yeah, that is correct. That is correct. Yeah.
So So thank you so much for watching or listening. Do we do what we jokingly planned at the start of the episode? Do we do that just to finish off and just leave everybody holding their head in their hands?
Gary Manders is going to be so mad at us when he hears it.
Should we do it?
Because we sang once and he said, please never sing again.
Yeah, let's do it. Come on.
Right, are we in tune?
This delay is going to be terrible.
Right, are we in D?
Okay. Yeah, this is going to be the worst rendition of this you've ever heard, because I reckon there's probably a 2-second delay between us, but it's going to sound like a cacophony of noise and it's going to be brilliant, and we're going to leave you on this. And Merry Christmas, everybody. But
we might... 1, 2, 3, 4.
Christmas gave me my heart, and the very next day gave me away. This year, save me from this. I give it to someone special.
Yeah, someone special. It's Christmas. Have a great festive period, and thank you for hopefully not switching off by now.
Amazing. Merry Christmas, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Take it easy. Bye.